Howdy folks, Captain Wayne Davis here. I'm here with my good buddy Captain Ernest Cisneros, and this is our second cold front of the season, and it got really chilly last night down here in Port Mansfield. What was it this morning?
I saw the temperature was 38 degrees.
38 degrees. We had a full moon last night, and we've got high pressure right now, so our thinking is we're going to go out later. It's well after 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're heading out to try to catch them once that warming trend starts to come back up.
You know, especially in the wintertime, you know, we got two majors, two minors during the day, but it is, from experience, I've seen that even if you got a major minor, you know, in the middle of the night, these fish are dormant. The water's really cold. They're not going to be as active as they are like in the spring or in the summer. So these fish are dormant, but they'll go out and feed and start moving around once the sun starts to warm up the shallows. But we also got to contend with the high pressure. But it never hurts when you do try to coincide with going out later in the winter, and also coincide it with your major and your minor feed, which we got a major feed today from 125 to 325. So we're hoping that maybe we can catch, you know, some fish before them, but actually our best bite's probably going to be right after noon.
Yeah, afternoon we're gonna concentrate our efforts in the best spot that we think the fish will be at. We know where there's some fish. We're hoping to go back there and capitalize on that major feed about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll just fish it out until the bite dies or it gets dark on us.
You know, and in the wintertime, it's especially important to keep an eye on any bait that's active on the surface, any swirls, and most importantly, the birds. The birds are a big sign and show you where that bait is, because they got to eat too as well, and they will show you the signs of where those fish can be, where the bait is, and that's where those fish are going to be feeding.
Yep. So we're down to water temperature right now. It's about 58 degrees. We think it's going to rise up to about 62, 63 by late afternoon, and we think that's going to trigger those fish. And we also have some cloud cover that may be rolling in too, which is going to help a lot. Drop that pressure a little bit.
And don't forget to work it slower in the wintertime.
That's right. Okay, wish us luck. Howdy folks, Captain Wayne Davis here. It's got down to 38 degrees last night, and the water temperature was about 57, 58. It's starting to warm up. One indicator that you can look for when you're out on the water, what the fish are doing, especially in the winter like this, is these sea lice on the belly. Just take a look at all those, they're moving around. This tells me that these fish are just flat out laying on the bottom and not moving a lot. This is an indicator of that. So you have to work your lure real slow right in front of them, and they'll grab it. As the water temperature warms up, I think we're going to get to about 62 or 63 degrees this morning, or later this afternoon. The fish will become a little bit more active, but just like we suspected, it got super cold, 38 degrees last night. Fish, boom, laid on the bottom, and those sea lice get on their bellies because they're just laying there doing nothing. And sometimes you can see their bellies are red because it's just they're kind of worn out, just laying there, wear themselves out. But there's those lice right there. That's what they look like. If you see those on a fish, chances are it's been laying on the bottom. So that give you a clue to work your lure pretty slow. Thanks. Ready to go.
All right. I'm throwing here a flamingo willowtail, and if you notice, I got it rigged up on a 1/4 ounce. I like 1/4 ounce, especially in the heat of the summer, or the, you know, when in the wintertime when the water's cold. We've had a cold front come in, drop the water temperatures. in the low 60s. And so the 1/4 ounce keeps my lure in the strike zone, and I believe they're down in the water. As Captain Wayne explained, that they got little mites underneath because they've been laying on the bottom. So I use a 1/4 ounce. Now in a situation like this, you can see that we got a line right here of waders, and we're working it real slow because you may tend to sometimes get overly excited if you're catching fish. So why move forward? Stay behind, go slow, and your cast should not be as wide. If you're on fish and everybody on the line is catching fish, try to make your cast a little tighter. Normally on a normal wade, when we're looking for fish, I tell people to cast at 10, 12, and 2 o'clock in your fan casting. But in a situation like this where we're all catching fish, you want to make it a little tighter, where you go maybe 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to catch more fish that way, and you're covering that area very thoroughly and staying on the fish. So again, wintertime, don't speed up your weight if you're on fish. Just walk slowly, make your casts a lot tighter. And don't forget, 1/4 ounce jig head works if the bottom is conducive to it, where there's less grass. Here's a nice one. Pretty thick around the shoulders. He's not ready. So I'm using I gotta be careful I don't put my hands and hurt her gills, but what I'm using now, I switched from a flamingo willowtail. I switched to a ball tail, and I'll give you the reason why. Let me just take out this hook so I don't hurt her and let her go safely. There she is right there. I'm gonna release her, and there she goes. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about what I did. I switched from a willowtail, and really the colors don't match, but to me what was happening, I was getting these short strikes, and I said, you know what, I need to probably present something a little bit more smaller, and so I went to the ball tail. And again, my favorite color go-to color is plum chartreuse. But I think here in this situation, the size is what really mattered here, and so they were able to eat this one a little bit more because I was getting some short strikes. So I went to the smaller size bait on the ball tail versus the willowtail, and that showed some better results here. So we're going to continue fishing here, and hopefully we can get some bigger trout.
Look, check out the difference in the retrieve between Ernest and I. He's fishing a ball tail with a 1/8 ounce jig head, and I'm fishing a willowtail with a 3/32 jig head. I'm able to work it a little bit slower because of the flutter of the willowtail, and it's a lot more buoyant. The ball tail falls more, so Ernest is having to work his bait a little bit quicker. See, he's already in, and I'm able to keep it out there a little bit longer. It's just a different presentation that we're doing for these fish today. Ernest recently switched over to a ball tail from a willowtail and has been pretty successful with it because the profile's a little bit different and these fish are eating shrimp.
I will say that my retrieves are fast, but if you notice, my rod tip doesn't go up that high, and I tend to keep it right in that strike zone longer. But I do maybe 2 to 1 retrieve with anyone else, but I keep it in the strike zone where those fish can hit it. And one way to compensate is, again, I've talked about in the past, is I switch over from 1/8 to 1/4 ounce if there's a bottom where there's not that much grass, or I can keep it right above the grass.
I just missed a little one there too. There's a lot of fish in here. As you can see, Mike's hooked up right down the line. You can see my boat. We haven't even moved. There you go, Ernest. Nice one.
Oh, that was a nice trout.
Big mud bullet left. But as you can see, we're not even moving. My boat hasn't moved, and neither have we. We are really effectively working this area right in here. Oops. And, Well, my reel's been sabotaged earlier today for the record, guys. Y'all know what y'all did to it. Check Ernest's Instagram post. You'll see exactly what happened. Well, Mike's got a pretty good fish. Ernest just lost a good fish. We're not moving much at all. I saw the wake of yours. Just like that. That's a
One thing about winter fishing is these fish kind of
Ernest.
hang out together. So where he caught that fish, I'm gonna cast in that same vicinity, and hopefully there's another one buddied up with that one. And he was. Look, double hookup.
Now this might be a red, but if it's a trout, it's gonna be a good one.
You know, I like to give the analogy in the wintertime of the schoolyard. If kids have to report to the schoolyard early in the morning, and it's cold outside, where are they going to be? Are they going to be all spread out throughout the courtyard, or are they going to be all bunched up trying to warm up together? And of course, they're going to be all bunched up together, trying to warm up, you know, amongst themselves. Well, the same thing with fish. They find an area where it's right temperature, where there's also food availability, and they're going to hang out. So usually you're going to catch more than one fish and get on a good bite like we are today.
Now, one caveat to this whole thing, the big red. Generally speaking, coming off of a full moon can be tough. But what's helped us is it got down to 38 degrees last night. So we don't think that the fish really fed at night. So we were kind of capitalizing on the warming trend, and we were capitalizing on the major. Mike's got this probably big old red too. And I can tell you, when we get this red in, it's going to be a fat one. May not be that long. It's going to be fat.
And how does the average person find the major and the minors?
Well, there's a lot of apps that you can go to, fishing and hunting apps, and pick one. You can program your phone to pick your location, and it'll tell you when to do it. Now keep in mind, they vary a little bit, so we like to get in there about an hour before. This is on. Oh yeah. This is one of those big things
Look at that redfish.
Oh, that works.
And we are putting these green rods
to work.
XL. They're working great for us. If you're in the mood for or looking for a new reel, for Christmas is coming up, I suggest you go to Fishing Tackle Unlimited and let them help you out. And take a look at these rods. The new XL. I like the finesse style, which is the light tip and has great action. I can feel those bites.
Bring them here, Mike. Mike just got a 12-pounder, and this one here is going to be 7, 8, 9, 10-pounder. Just a nice 10-pounder. As you can tell, this cold front's got them eating. We got a 10 and a 12. Ernest has a nice trout. We had a big 5-pound trout earlier. We're right in the middle of the major, just like we talked about, and it's on, basically.
That's a nice fish, buddy.
We got a triple hooked up going on right now. Another 8, 9-pound redfish. They have moved in here. This has worked out just like we thought it was going to. Ernest is on behind us, another big red. We are in the school of reds like crazy. Oh, here we go. Look at this, Jimmy. This is going to be the sign right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, folks, but there is a mullet inside this fish like crazy. Big mullet. Hang on here, Ernest has got us all messed up. Go over. Watch my other rod. Jesus. I want to show y'all something here. All right, look at this, Jimmy. Can y'all see that tail down there? That is a humongous mullet.
All right, we're out here with K. Wiggler's pro team and friends, and we're on a really good bite, redfish and trout. And we're releasing everything we're catching. Nothing wrong with that. Just like I'm gonna let this one go to live another day.
Larry's got him about a 9-pounder. I've got a 9-pounder. Mike's got about a 6-pounder, 5-pounder. Just a great bite. We're working off the major. We're working it real hard. We're coming off of a full moon, but we're using the major to our advantage, and we're set up just right. So that fish was ready. Nothing wrong with releasing a few. All right, that's a wrap. Larry just caught a real nice trout here. See how fat this fish is? You can feel the mullet in the belly of this fish. It goes all the way down to right there. That's an entire mullet right there, and the tail is sticking out of the mouth. So these fish were set up just right. It was 38 degrees last night. The water temperature dropped down to the upper 50s. And they're eating now. We're in the major, and they're just eating huge mullet. Like this fish, you could see it. That fish has probably at least a 12-inch mullet in his. That's really neat. Look at that tail sticking out. Jimmy? All right.
Where do you want me?
No, all the way to the nose. Right there. So this fish is only 21 1/4, but weighs 5 pounds. This is tag number 214. Put her in the water real quick. Okay, you see this little thing, Ernest? You gotta slide it down to there, right? See how it works?
Okay.
Okay. So once you get it slid down in there, set her up here, Mike, and put her head this way, towards this way. Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna want to slide this thing in right up in here.
Yeah.
And then once you get it in, you're gonna twist it so that it gets hung up on the back of the dorsal fin.
I'm gonna get
Go
out of the
on.
way.
Yeah, I got it, Mike. Slide over here, Ernest. So you'll pull a little bit of scales away like this, right? Clean a little hole, and then you twist it. I'm twisting this because I want that little barb to catch on the dorsal fin. Got it. So again, Jimmy, this isn't normally the size of fish that we tag. This is just 21 1/4, but it's a 5-pounder, which is pretty unique. You know, these fish are eating real good. But Captain Ernest is going to join in on the program and start tagging snook, trophy trout, and flounder for the Hart Institute out of Corpus Christi, Texas A&M. So we needed to just give a little demonstration on how to tag these things, and that's how it's going to go once it's in there. Now, if you mess up, you can do it again if it doesn't get connected real well.
To the other side?
It didn't go out.
Okay.
Right, you're just going to get it on that bone in there, twist it where that little hook hangs on there, and it'll stay there. It's good to go. But again, just a real nice, healthy trout. We know this is going to be a good one, and it's got a tail sticking out of her mouth in there, her mullet. Here's ready. Howdy, folks. This is the end to a long day out on the water. We started a little later than normal, anticipating a midday bite with the major, and it worked out pretty much in our favor, didn't it, Ernest?
Yeah, it's pretty cool when you can pretty much use the science that's out there and apply it on the water and hit it right. It's not too often you do that because we're in the fish's element, but today was one of those lucky days where we were able to kind of pinpoint the time they were going to bite, and they actually fed very well.
They fed real good. We had a real good day, and I'm sure we're going to be able to put a clip together to kind of summarize the day's events. But again, it's the sun's already down, the cloud cover's rolling in like we talked about earlier. We set up right about an hour before the major. We didn't move. We waited for the major to come, the fish to come to us, and it worked out beautifully.
You know, what's really cool is we always talk about high pressure, and usually fish don't feed very well on, under high pressure conditions. But today they fed well. You know, we had it's a post cold front. It's been real windy. They were just actually hungry. So again, fishing out here on the water is like a game of chess. You never know. You just got to calculate those moves and hope you get it right. Today we got it right.
Today we got it right, and we're going to give it another go tomorrow. But it'll be an hour later tomorrow, so we'll see how it works out for us. Mullet, there's something with bubbles in the water that causes them to, they don't like bubbles, right? So mullet, when they jump in the air, they're actually farting, so that they don't leave bubbles in the water. Then they can get away. That's what when they're jumping, they're farting.
They're farting.
Yeah.
So you're saying?
I'm just saying they're farting when they're jumping.
So you're saying that mullet fart a lot? Because I've seen them jump over and over again.
Oh yeah, they do. They have. There's a lot of gas. They eat a lot of stuff that gives them.
Well, the herbivores, they must eat a lot of you know, grass that has a lot of gas.
Well, I'm just telling you what the scientists are telling me, buddy.
Interesting. So could you say that mullet develop gastritis?
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're jumping, you know they don't like bubbles.